Hello, Guardian. How are you doing tonight?
I am doing just fine. How are you doing, Adzi?
I'm doing pretty good, and congratulations on being February's Artifex Spotlight Talent.
Thank you ever so much. It's quite a humbling honor.
Well, you earned it, man. You earned it. So, let's just get straight into the first question. So, for some people who might not know you, who are you and what do you perform?
Well, I can make that short and concise. My name is Gaudion, and my particular shtick, gimmick, etc., what do you like to call it? I will do a cappella renditions of music, whether if it's something grandiose or if it's something simple. I just prefer doing my things my own way and by myself. You can just call me lazy without a backtrack. Whatever suits your boat.
I suppose that works. Sometimes it's a lot of hassle to get a backing track, especially on VR chat. Like, I know some people hold up the phone, some people like try and mess with voice meter to get it working. It's just a pain. But I do know
True.
for a fact that you are an audio engineer, and what's that like?
In all honesty, a lot of people like to mystify it. Some people like to idolize it. Honestly, to me, I'm just a guy who knows how to use his ear, whether if it's live or in the post. And it's really gratifying.
So, what kind of stuff do you actually do with that?
Well, I first got myself started into it from just remote requests. People would ask, like I don't know what kind of microphone I want to use for my recordings, or I really want to improve or amplify the sound that I have, but what am I missing? The simple questions that everybody would like to ask, like, how can I sound better? You would be surprised how often it's really as simple as a 50-50 mix of equipment and one's inner fortitude. Doesn't matter if you're a singer or a guitarist, you're going to sound as good as your weakest link. So, people will come to me just for that help,
I guess that
even
works.
if it's just a little confidence.
How long have you been doing that?
I've been at it for almost 7 years now.
Jesus, that's a long time.
Right? You can only imagine the worst of it, as I'll call it. But even then, still satisfying times.
Right, well,
It's always a learning experience, right?
everything's a
In
learning
my
experience,
eyes,
my
I'll
friend.
make you
Everything.
see, drifting aimlessly, blind the world of make believe. Hear them sing their songs off key, and not like they agree, buying the need to be discreet. I've got no hand in matters worldly. I hardly care at all. What's going on fails to concern me, 'cause I'm locked behind my wall. But you know what drives me out of my mind? Oh, it's whatever makes you see, makes you believe, and forget about the premonition you need to conceive. The images they sell are illusion and dream. In other words, dishonesty. If I speak, you please humor me. Won't rant on endlessly. Just thought I'd try to make you see. It doesn't solve a thing to dress it in a pretty gown. Someone will not need you to guess if you're still going to drown. Oh, you know what drives me out of my mind. Oh, it's whatever makes you see, makes you believe, and forget about the premonition you need to conceive. The images they sell are illusion and dream. In other words, dishonesty. Can you name your demon? Understand its scheming. Raise my glass and say here's to you. You chase your freeman, or will it take your freedom? I raise my glass and say here's to you. I've got no hand in matters worldly. I hardly care at all. What's going on fails to concern me, 'cause I'm locked behind my wall. But you know what drives me out of my mind? Oh, it's whatever makes you see, makes you believe, and forget about the premonition you need to conceive. The images they sell are illusion and dream. In other words, dishonesty. Whatever makes you see, makes you believe, and forget about the premonition you need to conceive. The images they sell are illusion and dream. In other words, dishonesty.
So, what is the
Right on.
biggest thing that you've overcome as a performer?
Super cliche, but it's the truth. That unnerving stage fright, those inner demons that tell you, you can't do this yet. You can't do this. You're not there. You're just not ready yet. But in all honesty, it took so much repetition to get over it. But in the end, you can still feel that slimy claw over your shoulder. But you learn to develop a fortitude just to push it out of the way. And when you bring yourself out in your best, you just explode with everything you've got. There is not a more satisfying feeling than the negative feeling that could be brought if you were to allow yourself to succumb to your own inhibitions.
Right on, man. Right on. Hell yeah. I know.
Don't worry, if you need a thesaurus or a dictionary, you can look it up at the end of the video. Oh, out and tell our story. Let it echo far and wide. Make them hear you. Make them hear you. Justice was our battle, and how justice was denied. Make them hear you. Make them hear you. And say to those who blame us for the way we chose to fight, sometimes there are battles that are more than black or white. I could not put down my sword when justice was my right. Make them hear you. Oh, out and tell our story to your daughters and your sons. Make them hear you. Make them hear you. And tell them in our struggle we were not the only ones. Make them hear you. Make them hear you. Your sword can be a sermon for the power of the pen. Teach every child to raise his voice, and then, my brothers, then this will be demanded by 10 million righteous men. Make them hear you. When they hear you, I'll be near you again.
Who are your biggest musical influences? Like, who influences you? Like, either whether it be in Artifex or just in life.
There are so many different inspirations. I can list just a few off for vocal inspirations personally. Probably one of the biggest ones for me would be Marco Soresto. If you're not familiar to who he is the vocalist for a band called Poets of the Fall. Probably one of the most dynamically versatile baritone voices I've ever heard personally. But the list goes on. There are those like Bradley Walden from Emerosa, Jonathan Colton, who doesn't love Portal, Dallas Green, if you're a fan of City and Color, beautiful, capable individual. Johnny Craig, love him and hate him, but damn if that man doesn't have a ballad voice built for the ages. Joey Rubenstein, kind of an underknown name, but such a childish yet playfully powerful voice. Brian Stokes Mitchell. Do I have to say more about the Broadway singer himself? Unbelievably capable. Golden voice of the century. I could list so many names, but in all honesty, just like every kind of artist I listen to, whether if they're famous or not, has touched me and inspired me in so many different ways.
Yeah, man, I know the feeling. I know the feeling myself. So, let me see. What is the next question? The next question is, how did you find Artifex?
Humorously enough, I don't remember the exact origins, but I remember just like many coming to a show. A friend of mine had thrown me an invite. They're like, hey, you should come check this out. I'm like, all right, let's see what it's about. Saw all these people just going into a line. And I was like, is this something you sign up for? Like, can anybody do this? And they're like, no, you can just walk on up. And I'm like, all right. I went a couple rounds just having fun, no big deal. Just like having a blast. And suddenly I get like asked, like, hey, what's your Discord? And, that whole spiel, get shot an invite. I'm like, all right then. And well, here I am, still sticking around through the ages.
Well, damn. So you've been around since you've been around since before it was even called the Star Collective. Am I right?
Yes, I still remember. Like, that's the funny thing. Like, one thing that makes Artifacts so enjoyable for me is the familiarity of all the people, staff and otherwise. I can look down that list and it's like looking through a history book, personalized by my own observations as well as experience. And it's such a colorful book, all in all.
Hell yeah, man.
So lately, been wondering who will be there to take my place when I'm gone? You'll need love to light the shadows on your face. If a great wave shall fall, it'll fall upon us all. In between the sand and stone, could you make it on your own? If I could, then I would. I'll go wherever you will go, way up high or down low. I'll go wherever you will go, and maybe I'll find out way to make it back someday, to watch you, to guide you through the darkest of your days. If a great wave shall fall, it fall upon us all. I hope there's someone out there who can bring me back to you. If I could, then I would. I'll go wherever you will go, way up high or down low. I'll go wherever you will go. Run away with my heart. Run away with my hope. Run away with my love. I know now just quite how My life and love might still go on in your heart, in your mind. I'll stay with you for all of the time. If I could, then I would. I'll go wherever you will go, way up high or down low. I'll go wherever you will go. If I could turn back time, I'll go wherever you will go. If I could make you mine, I'll go wherever you will go. I'll go wherever you will go.
What is it about Artifex that makes you stick around so much?
If I gotta be blunt, it's the fact that like there are constantly new and different talents, whether if they're old and new, tried and true. There are so many people capable of so much, and I can't honestly answer why for this, but I feel so compelled to bring the best out of people because the past experience did the same for me. You could call it bringing the legacy back and trying to pass it down.
I've noticed that you've always been helping people. And as you said, you don't really know why you do that, but I don't know. I feel like you just enjoy bringing the best out of people. Like you've always been helping me, for instance, with my vocals, because I've always not been very strong with vocals, but like every time that I'm in a lobby with you, you sort of give me a little bit of advice if I'm singing with you.
Well, why not? Because everybody has a voice that can be brought out, no matter how much or how less on confidence one is. Everybody's got something they can bring to it. It's remarkable that people just don't see it in themselves. I would have killed for that going through it, and some people actually really did. So if I have to give a reason, it'd be to those people, the ones that helped me. So of course I would love to spread the love, help them feel what I got to feel.
Mm-hmm. And final question of the interview, and that is, what is next for Gaudion? Like, where do you see yourself going?
You know, that's a question I ask myself practically every day. I enjoy what I do, and it's weird, like, I don't have a personal aspiration for it. I have fun with it, but I don't know where I would take myself if I really wanted to give it a catalyst. I like to express, but I have no message. If I have to have a message, and I'm certainly not opposed to it, is that no matter what grade level you feel like you personally are as a singer, you're always able to do more. You're always able to express what you feel.
Mm-hmm.
But the main thing that counts is you allowing yourself to do it.
Oh yeah,
I
man.
say build stairs, not walls.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? Maybe I'll be the first. Well, let's not call me a vocal coach because that's pretentious. Can I be the teacher substitute? That seems more suiting. I'll go with that.
I'm sure you can be whatever you want to be, man. Like, you've always been helping people out in Artifex, and we love you for it.
And it's very appreciated back. And now the end is near, and so I face the final curtain. My friend, I'll say it clear, I'll state my case, of which I'm certain. I've lived a life that's full. I traveled each and every highway, and more, much more than this. I did it my Regrets, I've had a few, but then again, too few to mention. I did what I had to do and saw it through without exemption. I planned each charted course, each careful step along the byway, and more, much more than this, I did it my way. Yes, there were times, I'm sure you knew, when I bit off more than I could chew. But through it all, when there was doubt, I ate it up and spit it out. I faced it all, and I stood tall, and did it my way. I've loved, I've laughed and cried, I've had my fill, my share of losing, and now, as tears subside, I find it all so amusing to think I did all that, and may I say, not in a shy way. Oh no, not me. I did it my way. What is a man? What has he got? If not himself, then he has not. Say the things he truly feels, and not the words of one who kneels. The record shows I took the blows and did it my way. All right there, if you made it to the end of the video, thank you ever so much for giving a listen towards me. As I've said, I am Gaudion. I'm a little sick, but that's one thing you really need to understand as well. Doesn't matter if you're well, doesn't matter if you're sick. Always give the best shot you can give. Hopefully I'm an inspiration some way. Otherwise, have a good one.